Go ahead, go ahead.
Good evening to everyone present here
Yes,
today.
please.
I, on behalf of Army Public School, Clementown, extend a very warm and hearty welcome to Dr. Kumar Krishen, our keynote speaker this evening, Principal Ma'am, Vice Principal Ma'am, faculty members, and my dear students to this webinar on inspiration and innovation, need for greater future. Creativity is thinking up new things. Innovation is doing new things. As someone said, innovation is where imagination meets ambition. We are very privileged and honored to have with us Dr. Kumar Krishen as the keynote speaker for the session. A NASA Exceptional Service Medal recipient, Fellow at the Society for Design and Process Science, Fellow and Distinguished Speaker, Institution of Electronic and Telecommunication Engineers, Dr. Kumar Krishen has led an illustrious life studded with incredible achievements. I now take you on a glimpse into his remarkable journey. Dr. Kumar Krishen was born in Chandpura, Kashmir, in the foothills of Himalayas. From his childhood, he keenly observed the nature around him and the interaction of humans in the setting. Dr. Krishen attended college in Srinagar at Kashmir and did BA in Electronics, Electrical Engineering, Radio Physics, and Mathematics. He thereafter joined Calcutta University and pursued Bachelor's and Master's in Technology. He has done MS and holds a doctorate from Kansas State University. Dr. Kumar Krishen is the Senior Scientist, Lead Technologist, and R&D Lead for the Technology Transfer and Commercialization Office, NASA Johnson Space Center, Houston, Texas. He is responsible for developing strategies for joint research and technology projects and plans with industries, universities, other NASA centers, and government agencies. Dr. Krishen has held positions of repute in prestigious institutes like Virginia Tech as University Fellow for Technology, Transfer Office of Special Initiatives, and Visiting Professor in Electrical and Computer Engineering on a special NASA assignment. Presently, he is Honorary Professor, Delhi Technological University, and Honorary Distinguished Professor at Amity University, Gurgaon. He is also the Principal Technologist on NASA Council on Science and Technology. Dr. Krishen was with NASA from February 1976 to September 2018 and held key positions in advanced programs in Earth observations, science payloads, experiment systems, tracking and communication, mission support, new initiatives, and technology in R&D. He has authored more than 160 technical papers, reports, proceedings. Dr. Krishen is a Fellow of the Society of Design and Process Science, SDPS, and an Associate Fellow of American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, AIAA, and Fellow of the Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, IEEE. As Dr. Krishen just revealed his pen name, being a scientist and a technologist, he is a keen writer in prose and poetry and writes with a pen name, Hubi. He is also the recipient of many awards, medals, and commendations from universities, industry, and government organizations, including the NASA Exceptional Service Medal. We are indeed honored and very, very privileged to have you with us this evening here in India and the morning over there in US. Sir is live with us from US. I now request our worthy principal, Dr. Bindu Sharma, to kindly say a few words and declare the session open.
Awesome evening to everyone. And sir, on behalf of Army Public School, Clementown Management, students as well as the teachers, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you. And it is very nice on your part that you accepted this, where I had come forth with an invite that if you could address my students And you have been so kind to have accepted our invitation. And we look forward to a lot of learning today. And really, all the students, I would say, it is not about a routine, lecture or something that is going to be taken today. As he has already talked about, it is going to be fun, it is going to be learning, it is going to be learning new things also, but in a very lucid and in a very humorous manner, I would say. So, sir, we look forward to learn from your experience, because, and it's just such a matter of pride for all of us that coming from India, how you have you have got all the name and fame abroad. So that way you have really made us feel very, very proud. And we are really proud to have you amongst us. So once again, I extend a warm welcome on behalf of the entire faculty, the students and the management. Kindly, sir, please, your words of wisdom. We are waiting for all the things that you have been talking about till now to get a gist of it actually. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
First, I'll say this. This is one of the greatest honors for me to talk to Army Public School. One of the greatest highlights of my life. I'm so excited. I've been excited from the day Principal Dr. Sharma invited me and communicated her desire for me to talk to the students and the faculty. It's a special occasion. It's a joyful occasion for me. I have known Principal Dr. Sharma for a long time from Roper, and her dedication always inspires me. And now I have known the Vice Principal, Bhargava Madam, and the great personality that introduced me, Madam Patwal. And, I could be not pronouncing things rightly, so don't worry about that. Students, I'm so excited to be a student with you. I left home after 10th class, and I call it, what I call it is a knowledge journey. And you have to at least think after this talk that I am not yet done, number one. Number two, I am a student. Today, I will be a student for the rest of my life, and I have been a student for all my life. So let's go to the charts. A little bit of joke. There was one person like me, retired from NASA, went home. His grandson came, sat by the side, said, "Grandpa, what did you do for NASA?" He said, "Give me a projector. Give me a projector. I will give you a presentation." So our culture in NASA is built on slides. So let's hope and that the slides come through. Ali, did the slide come through? Hello?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, so I have to go back then to, I believe, sharing the screen, right? Doing the routine again. Let's do it. Okay, and now I go to my, let's see. Does it come now?
Yes, sir.
Now
Yes,
it
sir, it
did?
is visible.
It's visible,
Okay,
sir.
students,
Yeah.
you can see me, I cannot see you. So if I do any mistakes, catch me right there and then.
Right.
So what are we going to do in this presentation? We are going to talk about inspiration and innovation. And these, we are going to relate how they are going to do great things for our future. We're at the worst time in the history of my life. With this coronavirus, we have shut down the world, but hope is there, and our energy, enthusiasm, inspiration will lead us to innovations, and it will lead us to an even better world in the future. So, students, what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about the connection of India with education and knowledge. We're going to talk about the need for knowledge and innovation. We're going to talk about the play or the interplay between inspiration, innovation, and imagination. We're going to talk about why we need innovation to drive to a great future. Lastly, not least, India is great in all these four things: knowledge, wisdom, love, leadership. So be prepared. So in NASA, we launch these rockets. We go pretty high speed. Otherwise, we'll never reach moon. Or now, after 20 or so years, you will see we'll be on the Mars. So be prepared. I'm going to go fast at times. So now, having said that, India is super in terms of knowledge, harnessing knowledge, and then sharing knowledge. Here is your example. Takshashila University. 2,700 years back, it was established, and it was the first university in the world. In fact, one of the faculty members was Vishnu Sharman, who ended up in Kashmir, ended up writing Panchatantra. Can you believe this? How great personalities were at Takshashila University 2,700 years ago. Then you have Nalanda University. This was a Buddhist university. It was revered as Buddhist monastery. And now it goes back in history about 3,200 years back. This is the sort of historical connection of India with knowledge, Vidya. India is a land of Vidya. And, you know, to that theme, students and faculty, I made a list of things that are very unique in India. First of all, it's a land of faiths and religions. Can you imagine a religion that's not in India? I can't. Can you imagine a faith that's not in India? I cannot. A land of human diversity. There is diversity all over the map. We have every type of human species represented in Greater India. A land of languages, hundreds of languages. Thriving. A land of saints and love. We have taught the world love, wisdom. We have taught the world it's a land of knowledge and wisdom. Saints, great saints, and we might come to them in my presentation, but one of the greatest things about saints was that their wisdom was so great that they could predict what can happen in the future. And of course, India is a land of innovation. I always maintain that, talk about it, show that India has done things that are incredible. Students and faculty, wake up to one thing that drove me to NASA, that drove my journey from Kansas State University. I was a permanent faculty member to NASA. And what that is understanding. I think somebody's mic is on. Are you able to listen to me? Ali, am I?
Sir, you're very audible.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So,
yes, sir, audible, clear and audible.
Some people's mic is on, so mute the mic, cross the mic. So this is what drove me. This slide drove me to NASA. I wanted to understand what is this universe. And I know I can tell you that there is not only this universe, which is incredibly infinite in dimension, but there are other universes surrounding it. And then I wanted to know who created, how did time come about? How did the space come around? How energy and matter and life evolved. You know, one quick thing about this slide. When I was a child, I used to give very tough time to my mom and dad. First of all, I would ask Mom, who is there on the moon? Because in the place I was born, Kashmir, you could see moon very nicely during my childhood. There was no pollution, nothing. We are up 7,000 feet, even more, and you can see moon is almost close to you. So I would ask my mom. She would say, there, God lives there, Bhagwan ji rehte. And that concept blew my mind. And I wanted to know more about what is this universe? What is moon? Who is living there? How they are living? Now, this earth, you know, we talk about we need innovation. And now I will give you a few reasons why we need innovation. Earth is connected with what we call solar system. So we derive our energy from the sun, for example. The moon is not insignificant. You know, moon is going away from us by 2 or 3 centimeters a year, they tell us, and that could have profound effects. But in any case, Earth is a part of the universe. So what happens in the universe in broader context, what happens in solar system, Milky Way, Andromeda, all these galaxies has some effect. Radiation comes through, particles come through, whatnot. Gravitational fields are there. There are disturbances. So Earth is a part of the universe. Therefore, we need to study what's going around us in the solar system, in the Milky Way, Andromeda, and Milky Way and Andromeda are going to join hands one of these days after 3-4 billion years, who knows. Asteroids hitting the Earth. There have been asteroids hitting the Earth. For example, one of the things that I was told by scientists that 70 million years ago, a great asteroid hit the Earth, dust rose up, enveloped the Earth, no light could come in, and therefore life extinguished. And then if you read the books of India, very back, like 5,000-6,000 years back books of India, they will tell you that life evolved from the oceans, after this incredible event. So I'm going to have to go a little faster. So volcanoes, you know, Earth inside is incredibly hot, and therefore that shows up in the eruption of these volcanoes, you know, black ash flowing everywhere. Then you have, let me see, yes, oops, it's going. Now, Earth plate motion, you know, Earth is full of these plates, and we know that from geology, study of geology. And one of the plates is India pushing China. And that has created Mount Everest and the Himalayan range. And they say that the Mount Everest gets taller by a few nanometers every year because of that push. And then you have a fault line below, I believe, Nepal, all the way to Pakistan. One time, a few years back, like 15 or so years back, there was an earthquake in Pakistan, you know, devastation. And then very recently in Nepal, devastation. So we are living on an earth which is alive, which shakes. And if those plate motion goes under the ocean, you have what do you call change of depth in the water that gives a wave, and therefore that's is called tsunami. It travels very fast, 70-80 miles an hour, and there have been tsunamis. For example, one tsunami hit India. 1 lakh people were killed. Floods. Right now in Europe, there are huge floods. You know, in Germany, 150 or more people got killed and they can't still find people. And you should see the devastation. Sinkholes, all of a sudden in the ground, there'll be a hole. There have been some sinkholes in here in Florida, for example, in China. So you can see we have problems around us. We have tornadoes. In United States, there are few states like, for example, Kansas, where I was for 4.5 years. Then there is Oklahoma and all that. And then it comes to Texas. And these tornadoes can rip the whole village. You will see nothing. Trees are gone. Buildings are gone. Sandstorms. Right now, there is a sandstorm hitting United States from Sahara Desert. So sand goes in the air. For example, in Rajasthan, you have deserts, and sand will come in the air. You will find sand in Delhi. You will find sand everywhere in India. Natural fires. Right now, we have a drought in America. On the West Coast, in California, for example, Oregon, and so many other states, a huge number of fires. Hurricanes, of course, you call them typhoons in India, are a big deal. And I have done some research detecting these hurricanes from space. There was a hurricane in Galveston here. All the people, about 10,000 died about 110 years, or sorry, 20 years back. Are you getting the feel of the fact that we don't have a handle on some of these things that are created by nature or humans? For example, consequences of human activities, lack of resources. When I was born, students and faculty, there were 2.3 billion people on this earth. Today, there are nearly 7.8 to 8 billion people. 2.3 say 7.8 ban gaya within my lifetime. Where will the resources come from? We have lack of resources. Some people go hungry. And with this coronavirus, it has become an epidemic. The hunger has really gone uncontrolled. Pollution, congestion. Pollution is a big thing. Air, water, everything we have, land, we have polluted a lot. I need not say any more about that. Congestion, you know, we have concentrations of people in cities like Mumbai, Kolkata, Delhi, you know, people suddenly, and when there is congestion, there is lack of resources and there is lack of opportunity. And then there is the global warming, for which I'm sure all the faculty and students are very aware. Human health challenges, viruses, you know, right now we are in COVID-19 and it's devastating. It produced devastating results in the United States. More than 30,000 people got killed. In India, it's hovering to about that number. And still we have Delta variant, we have problems. We always had the issue of cancer. We always had brain related, you know, memory related, Alzheimer's, so many things. Heart is a big thing. So many people die out of heart attacks. So we haven't found solutions to keep people healthy. So now one of the things that I learned in space, doing space research and technology development and what have you, is that whatever we do in space comes down here. For example, Earth is now I can show you convincingly that Earth is going to change. Where you have no water this time, it might be underwater. Where you have water, it might be land. So things are changing. So when things are changing, the human behavior, human methodology of how we live in places that have changed dramatically from what they were before. And now we have to get them habitable. So we have to change. We have to have technology and innovations to be able to migrate, to be able to exist on this earth. I could go on and on. Each of these slides can be a presentation itself. So what will save this earth? If we ask ourselves this, I showed you the connection between this space research and technology and exploration to Earth. I have dedicated many, many years in NASA to taking the technologies that we use in space to using here on the Earth. Many of the things that you have today, even the phone, has its roots in space research and technology. So now let me come to this point. Students, I want you to know that everything we see is not what we see. So that mysterious mystery that came to my mind when I was a child, when my mom told me God lives on the moon, that became a mysterious thing to me. What is the mystery? Who lives there? Moon पर कौन रहता है? चांद पर कौन रहता है? चंद्रायन पर कौन रहता है? The mysterious is the true source of art and science. That mystery surrounding things. Why are people behaving they are behaving? What is driving our thinking? What is driving our behavior? How can we be better than what we are? That's the mystery. Imagination is more important than knowledge. ये बड़ा statement है. I realized this when I was a student at Calcutta University, and the professor would say a stream of electrons comes and it goes in this device. फिर ऐसा होता है, फिर ऐसा होता है. Unless I imagine that dumb stream of electrons which you cannot see with open eyes, electrons are so small you have to have great magnifiers called microscopes to even begin to see their effect, much less to begin to see them. So imagination is very important, students. So I put it in this way. What we see is very little. It's like an iceberg. ऊपर थोड़ा सा हम देखते हैं, but नीचे सारा भी unknown है. But there is one thing I want to drive to all of you, faculty and students. That is the connection between unknown and known. These are not disconnected fields. They are connected. So my point is, if you keep working on bringing more knowledge, then you can lower, you can find out what's happening below the line where we are seeing this happen. Or everything that we see is not really what it is, because, for example, in NASA, you know, we get these photos and then we say, oh, there is a black hole. That black hole is doing this. There are set up. Oh, Baba, that has happened billions of years ago, because that light travels and then we capture it with Hubble telescope or Chandra or some other telescope. So that travel time itself is billion years, millions of years. तो उसके बाद में क्या हम बात करेंगे? Oops. Okay, now the point is, there was a top guy, psychologist, Alan Tansey. He was on my team. I was innovation champion at NASA Johnson Space Center. One of the things he made me to understand is you cannot have innovation without inspiration. सोच लो, students and faculty, inspire जब तक ना हो जाओगे, innovate करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा, according to Tansey. So innovation, inspiration, innovation, imagination have a symbiotic relationship. एक को increase करना है, innovation बनानी है, तो सबको increase करना पड़ेगा, imagination करना पड़ेगा, को increase करना पड़ेगा, inspiration को. An increase in either inspiration or imagination has exponential effect on innovation. If you get inspired after this talk, if you start to imagine things where there's no solution, huh? In India, we have right now people, so many problems with pollution, with congestion, with so many other things, you know. So my point is, if we can imagine what needs to be done, then we can go do it, plan and do it. So innovation driven future, सारा future जो है, inspiration, imagination, inclusion means students that you should never say, hey, ye idea nahi chalega. No, bring all ideas together, shake them, find out which ideas are good, which are practical, which can be implemented. Unless you have a bigger set of ideas, it's like pieces of puzzle. एक स्टूडेंट एक पीस लाएगा, दूसरा दूसरा लाएगा, फैकल्टी मेंबर एक लाएगा, the puzzle becomes a great puzzle and it fits well and you have a picture. Leadership, imbibe the leadership qualities. Leadership means, and you will see what it means. Mahatma Gandhi will tell you what leadership means in a slide. Perspiration, मेहनत जिसको बोलते हैं, hard work करना बहुत important है. If I have achieved anything in my life, it has been because I worked really hard. So I love this slide. I purposely got these from internet, these pictures. देखो कहां से कहां हम पहुंचे हैं. This young lady is asking somebody, आज कितने फूल लाऊंगी? How many flowers, how many kilos of flowers do you need? Could you imagine this happening 25, 30, 50 years ago? Not really. Now we have a person looking at what are the different things I need to do today, or probably looking at a movie or a video, whatever, relaxing. ये बंदा, और उधर से वो दो बैल आ रहे हैं. Still in India at some places we are using the बैल power to do our खेती बाड़ी. So now I did this graphic. I'm not going to go through. Time is flying. So you see how sometimes you have a need to do something. अभी तो इंडिया में कितनी needs हैं. Desire, you want to have that desire to do something. You have a motivation to do something. You involve inspiration, imagination, and inclusion. मैंने बोला ना, include all the different ideas from different people, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your fellow students, your teachers, include everything. तो उसके बाद में leadership लगाओ, perspiration, मेहनत करके innovation आ जाएगी. You will take a product from this level to a different level. एक टेलीफोन अभी 50 साल पहले क्या टेलीफोन होते थे, डायल करते थे हम. Look at where we are. Great future means we have to greatly innovate. आप समझ गए ना?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Very good. I wanted to hear some voice. Now, yes, sir. We are going to wrap up. So, students and faculty, this is my all research, all my life. I won't say how old I am because in America we don't do that. We don't discuss age. We discuss achievements, what we have achieved better than anything else. यहाँ पर आप देख रहे हो कि लाइट आ रही है. लाइट से क्या होता है? लाइट नॉलेज है, और डार्कनेस नो नॉलेज. तो यहां पर मैंने क्या देखा कि बड़े बड़े लोग जो हैं, great people, they always try to contribute to hope, peace and prosperity of this world. तो कैसे करेंगे? What is the secret of what they do? The secret is they are truthful, they pursue knowledge, they are honest, they are non-violent, and if they see evil, एक बारी मैं देखता हूं कोई लेडी एक छोटे बच्चे को वो इतना मारती है, इतना मारती है. I looked at that lady, I am not joking you students, वो घबरा गई, shake. ये सड़क पर हो रहा था. She shook up. I didn't do a thing. I just looked. जैसे उसको मौत की उसने मेरे मुंह में देखा होगा मौत की शक्ल. She was shocked because she was mercilessly beating this little kid. So we have to destroy evil to the extent that we can without getting ourselves killed. Compassion. We have to serve humanity. अभी लोगों को खाना नहीं मिल रहा है, पानी नहीं मिल रहा है, क्या नहीं मिल रहा है इंडिया में. We can do something, and I am doing something. Healthy and inspired living. Be healthy. Have your health, physical and mental. तभी ना किसी को आप पैसा दे सकोगे जब आपके पास पैसा होगा. इसी तरह I couldn't give this talk if I was sick, if I am mentally gone, if I am physically unable to do. Right now, I can run easily 9 minutes a mile. That is 1.6 kilometers. 9 minutes में आराम से मैं चलूंगा. Because I have determined कि भाई unless until I am physically and mentally well, unless until I have resources, I cannot contribute to hope, peace and prosperity. मुश्किल है. घर पर बैठने से आराम से चेयर पर बैठने से कुछ नहीं होगा. Now, what are the behaviors that you don't want to have and you should know not to have? Lust. जैसे कितने वल्लभकार होते हैं. You know, these are people putting their desires, thrusting their desires on women, you know. So there is that. Anger. Anger is a big problem. Angry होना जो है ना, ये destruction of everything, of your capability. Never get angry. गुस्सा करने से कुछ नहीं होगा. You know, when you do gussa students to your mother or teacher or something, don't do it. Learn to avoid being angry. Greed. Greed gets people in so many. लालच जिसको बोलते हैं. लालच बुरी बला है. You know that. Uneducated. जो पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है. जिसके पास knowledge. पढ़ा लिखा का मतलब नहीं है that you have to have big degrees. My uncle never studied, but people would go to him and ask him what they should plant and when they should plant and where they should plant. All kinds of. He was like a library. He was like an internet for forming practices. So wisdom of living, huh? Wisdom of living. So now, how do you go to the metaphysical domains? It is better to live in Panchatantra, which I told you, Vishnu Sharman's, you know, great work. In this case, translated by Arthur Ryder. He was a professor at Berkeley, I believe. University of California. Better with learned people dwell, even though it is in the hell, than with vulgar people roam in palaces. Hello, students. Choose your company. किसके साथ रहोगे? The better people that you will associate with, the people who are learned, who have knowledge, who have desire, who want to work hard, then you will imbibe those practices. George Washington, the person who fought for the freedom of America and became the, I believe, first president of USA. Associate yourself with humans of good quality if you esteem your own reputation. अगर अपनी reputation, अपनी honor को बढ़ाना है, तो honorable people के साथ associate कर लो. So, way of life. यहाँ पर again from Panchtantra. There is no toy. ये खिलौना नहीं है कि आप खिलौने के शॉप पर जाके खुशी लाओगे. Let me repeat. There is no toy called easy joy. इजी जॉय कोई खिलौना नहीं है कि आप जाके दुकान पर बोलोगे मेरे को खुशी दे दे, मैं पैसा आपको देता हूं। नथिंग, दिस इज फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान। देयर इज नो टॉय, कोई खिलौना नहीं है कॉल्ड इजी जॉय जिसका नाम इजी जॉय है। बट ह्यूमन मस्ट स्ट्रेन टू बॉडीज पेन। मेहनत कर करके बॉडी को पेन कर लो तो फिर तुम खुश हो जाओगे। तो यहां पर बोलता है थॉमस एडिसन, ग्रेट साइंटिस्ट एंड इनोवेटर, ग्रेट इनोवेटर अभी भी माना जाता है। जीनियस इज 1% इंस्पायरेशन एंड 99% परस्पायरेशन। स्टूडेंट्स, डू यू गेट इट? मेहनत करने से ही आदमी आगे बढ़ सकता है। यहां अल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन क्या बोलता है? इन्वेंशन इज 1% इंस्पायरेशन एंड 99% परस्पायरेशन। मेहनत। मैं क्या बोलता हूं? मैं बोलता हूं ग्रेट अचीवमेंट्स रिक्वायर अबाउट 50%, 50% इंस्पायरेशन चाहिए और 50% परस्पायरेशन। मेरा ख्याल है कि दोनों वो बंदे जो थे उन्होंने थोड़ा ज्यादा परस्पायरेशन पर ध्यान दे दिया। यहां एग्जांपल है इंस्पायरेशन की। फौजा सिंह 65 इयर्स, पंजाब से निकला, लंदन में चला गया, ट्रेडमिल पर उसको अपने बेटे ने बोला कि भाई पिताजी आप ट्रेडमिल पर एक्सरसाइज कर लो। फ्रॉम ट्रेडमिल ही बिकेम अ रनर, ही रैन सो मेनी मैराथन्स। इसका वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड है, अभी भी लिविंग है ये लंदन में, फौजा सिंह। Here is your example of Sunita Williams. Sunita Williams, my friend, and we ran together. She was ahead of me by a kilometer. 5 किलोमीटर की रेस थी, she was ahead. फिर मैंने उसको बोला, I told her, look, Sunita, next time we run, I will be ahead of you. She took my hand and put it on her leg, said, Kumar, look at my muscle. You will never catch me. ऐसे होते हैं। She stayed in space station for 6 months. If you go Google Sunita Williams, she gave a very good presentation of the space station. She showed you everything, how they go to toilet and all that. बहुत मुश्किल है space में रहना। Another my friend, we were doing some research together, Kalpana Chawla. आपको पता ही है क्या हुआ, but the important thing is, students and faculty, when you saw her face, you would get inspired. कल्पना का फेस देखते ही आपको इंस्पायरेशन हो जाता। Her determination, her manner in which she was approaching a task, her knowledge would magnetize you. मैं बोल रहा हूं। So now we are wrapping up. So पर्पस होना चाहिए लाइफ में। पर्पस इन लाइफ identifies the path which then leads to success and satisfaction. This is the bottom line. This is my quote. कि पर्पस होना चाहिए। मैं क्या करूं, मैं करूं तो क्या करूं। This is guess what? My daughter is calling. I have 3 daughters and all of them are doctor, but the middle one is a doctor and she's calling, but I won't answer her. So purpose in life, students, is incredibly important. And this is what I taught my 3 daughters. All of them are Ph.D, M.D, etc., etc. Much more achievements than their dad. तो नॉलेज की बात हो रही है। नॉलेज इज पावर। और मेरे पिताजी बोलते थे द पेन इज माइटियर देन स्वॉर्ड। कलम तलवार से बहुत ताकतवर है। एंड ही वुड टेल यू व्हाई, बट वी डोंट हैव द टाइम टू गो डीपर। नॉलेज इज क्रिटिकल, विल फॉरएवर गवर्न इग्नोरेंस। जिसके पास नॉलेज नहीं है वो ऑलवेज अंडर ही रहेगा, वो ऊपर नहीं जाने वाला है। नॉलेज गिफ्ट जो है ना, इंडिया में भारतवर्ष में, हाँ, हिंदुस्तान में ये बोला गया है कि सबसे बड़ा धन नॉलेज का होता है। इसीलिए फॉर आवर फैकल्टी टीचर्स वी ऑलवेज कैच देयर फीट बिकॉज दे गिव अस द नॉलेज। स्टूडेंट्स, आर यू लिसनिंग? नॉलेज, मेरा ये कहना है बच्चों, फॉर अ फ्यू इट मे बी हु दे नो। कोई प्राइम मिनिस्टर को जानता है, कोई मिनिस्टर को जानता है, कोई सबसे रिचेस्ट आदमी को जानता है, कोई इसको जानता है, कोई उसको जानता है, पुलिस चीफ को जानता है, ठीक है, उससे भी काफी आगे बढ़ता है और बड़े हैं लोग। लेकिन वो कहीं लोगों को ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलते हैं, हम जैसे जो, मेरे जैसे लोग, फॉर ऑल अदर्स इट इज व्हाट वी नो। नासा मुझे कहां ले जाती वर्कफोर्स में, हाँ, उन्होंने मुझे, आई नेवर अप्लाइड फॉर एनी जॉब, स्टूडेंट्स नेवर। एट कैंसस स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी दे सेड यू आर नॉट लीविंग, हियर इज योर असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसरशिप, योर टेन्योर ट्रैक। फिर मैं लॉकहीड में आया तो दे कॉल्ड मी, दे गेव मी द जॉब, देन आई वेंट टू नासा, आई वर्कड ऑल माय लाइफ फॉर नासा आफ्टरवर्ड्स 43 years। तो मैं कहां से अप्लाई किया, उन्होंने दे दिया। They must have found that I know something that they need for their program. तो ये है, knowledge अंदर भी होता है। Just like I told you about example of my uncle or many other people around you, your mom, your dad may not be necessarily a college graduate, university graduate. वो हमारी एक लल दैद कश्मीरी में बोलते हैं, यहाँ उसका नाम एक्चुअली था लला योगेश्वरी। वो बोलती है कि मैंने सारा जहां ढूंढा, फाइनली नॉलेज मुझे अंदर ही मिल गया, अपने अंदर ही मिल गया। सोच लो स्टूडेंट्स, मैं क्या आपको बोल रहा हूं। देयर इज विजडम इन यू। विजडम जो है ना, विजडम टीचर्स यू वन थिंग, कि पीछे छोड़ो, जो गया वो गया, आगे सोचो मैं क्या कर रहा हूं। जो पीछे सोचेगा वो फूल है, जो आगे बढ़ेगा, आगे का सोचेगा, he or she is the wisest person. Love, प्यार बहुत बड़ी चीज है स्टूडेंट्स। We can do no great things, only small things with great love. मदर टेरेसा बोलती है, the fruit of faith is love and the fruit of love is service. फिर हम सर्विस करते हैं। Believe me, I have dedicated my life to servicing people. I never gave up on servicing. एक दफा मैं I was in a village in Haryana, remote village, and all these workers came and surrounded me. They thought we got an extraterrestrial person here. ET जिसको बोलते हैं, ये कहां से टपका? So anyway, when they are around me, I could think nothing. So I wanted to see their thought process. So I asked them this question, students. I said, what is the most precious thing on this earth? And I was expecting they will say, roti, kabda, makan, all these things, you know, food is precious, this is precious, that is precious. Or some, I was even thinking they will say blood, when we need blood infusion, etc., etc. But one lady lifted her hand up, said, pyar, love. I was shocked. Her वो धोती होती ना, साड़ी, हाँ, वो tethered, face में कितने wrinkles थे, कहाँ वो powder और cream जो आजकल लगा देते हैं. She didn't have those luxuries, but you know, she taught me a lesson. She taught me a lesson that the most precious thing on this earth is love. Leadership. यहां पर आपको मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी, हम तो गांधी ही बोलते हैं, लीडरशिप का छोटा फॉर्मूला आपको बताएंगे, मैथमेटिकल एल्गोरिथम, कंप्यूटर, वो ये है, वी मस्ट बी द चेंज जो हम चाहते हैं ना, टू सी इन अदर पीपल, टू सी इन अदर प्लेसेस, व्हाटएवर वी डिजायर, वी विश, to see in the world. वो change हम में आनी चाहिए पहले. If we tell people don't use salt, first we should not use salt. This is what Gandhi was all about. If we tell people mentally and physically fit हो जाओ, fit हो जाओ, fit हो जाओ, तो we are not doing it, तो वो कैसे चलेगा आगे? वो empty advice फिर बन जाती है. So leadership का number 1 ये है कि leader बनना है तो पहले आप practice what you are preaching. क्या बता रहे हो लोगों को? अगर you are telling them be honest, you be honest. Be truthful, you be truthful. So anyway, great leaders motivate lots of people. My great thing at Emerson College, I learned this. Great humans are meteors. Meteors जो ऊपर आसमान में होते हैं, that consume themselves to light the earth. ये Martin Luther King, who came to India, learned a lot about Gandhi. That time is always right to do the right things. Oops. Now am I still coming through? I have 2 more slides. Am I still? How am I doing on time? Madam
So we
Sharma?
are on time, sir.
No.
Perfectly fine, sir.
Okay, wonderful.
You can go ahead with your 2 slides. Yeah.
I have only 2 more slides. This one caught my imagination and I wanted to share it with faculty and students. According to the Indian mythology, or whatever you want to call, there was a bridge constructed between Sri Lanka, now we call it, and India, the tip of India. That bridge was never visible. किसी को कुछ इसके बारे में पता ही नहीं था. Until a few years back, NASA, with the imagery from space, could spot that there is a structure underwater that links Sri Lanka with India's tip. And it is shown in this picture. You can see that white line. So whenever I'm asked, this is what in India they predicted, that at that time, whatever beings we had, they could be half humans and half not humans, started to throw the stones. And there was a path. My take, if you ask my imagination tells me that at that time the water level was low. Maybe, a meter, maybe something like that. And so what these people, the inhabitants, so-called, whatever you call them, Bandar, whatever, and they started throwing the pebbles, and pretty soon they raised the level with the pebbles and there became a path. NASA put that path at 17,50,000 years back. So I told you, students and faculty, that India is a land of innovation. Imagine 17.5 lakh years before, ये innovation है कि नहीं है? That people started to throw these stones and became a path and linked to land masses together. Whatever happened afterwards, whether you believe or not, but at least you can believe that India's brain worked 17.5 lakh years before, and a bridge, a path was constructed. So students and faculty, this is the bottom line from me. Become inspired and inspire others for a brighter future. तो कैसे करोगे? Use knowledge, use wisdom, use love, use truthfulness, and these will lead to inspiration. Now, students, I have a challenge for you. the challenge is, why are you here on this earth? How are you here on this earth? And what are you going to do? This is where I say, thank you. Just thank you. My advice, do something great. Principal Sharma, I am done with my talk. I am open to questions.
Bhavna ma'am, you want to say something? Yeah, Mrs. Bhavna Bhargav, our Vice Principal. Yeah, please.
Sir, the presentation has been just wonderful, just awesome, totally mesmerized, and I'm sure the students as well. It has been so enthusing, so fantastic.
Thank you so much. I am delighted. I told you,
You're
I'm
muted.
excited.
Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted, sir. Sir, I'm totally enamored, totally floored by what you have just talked to us, just spoken to us in such a beautiful manner, effortless and wonderful. And I actually enjoyed the session. Thrilled
Problem.
to know so much, sir, from you, such a person. Thank you, sir, so much. And I'm sure my students also. They have learned so much from you, sir. How effortlessly, we can learn things, introspect, and go forth. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure, my joy, my happiness.
And in fact, the way you have made us aware and connect to our own, rich heritage, that is amazing. I think sitting in US, you have made us feel a bit, inferior in a way that we were not knowing a lot of things that you have told us. So that's the greatest thing. Any teacher who would like to say? Yes, sir.
Can I say one quick thing? I was always wondering, how did Vishnu Sharman, that name is different, it's like a South Indian name. How did he end up in Kashmir, and how did he end up to be an author of Panchatantra? That is what brought me. I did some research and I found out he was a professor of Sanskrit or something like that at Takshashila University. Takshashila Pathshala mein wo tha. And then he migrated slowly to Kashmir because Kashmir was such a beautiful place and all the saints would go there. But anyway, now we have a rich heritage. I am open to the question.
Thank you for helping us. आपने हमें हमसे ही जोड़ा उसके लिए I think we are very grateful to you, isn't it? So आपने कहीं ना कहीं हमारा जुड़ाव हमारे साथ ही कर दिया. So that's the beauty of this session, because the way you have brought what we talk about 21st century and the past and the future has, the way it has been amalgamated, it's really great, because when we are talking about innovation, we are talking about inspiration, we are talking about perspiration, that we are talking looking ahead. And we shouldn't be forgetting that what rich heritage we have, and we have to have that foundation to get into innovation. And beautifully you have, integrated all the values. Somewhere it is related to, as I said, it is the need of the hour, because 21st century skills, right? And at the same time, moving ahead. So I would say the way you have amalgamated the entire concept with the new and the old, it's really amazing. And as ma'am has already said, it mesmerized everyone. In fact, I was like, oh, 50 minutes ho bhi gaye. I couldn't believe that. So that was the thing, 55 minutes. Anyone who would like to say something? Any child, if you have any question from sir, you're most welcome. Any child, if you want to know about anything, or you're looking forward to any, query that sir can, answer to your question, please, anyone.
The question doesn't have to be related to my presentation. You can ask any other question, science, technology, whatever.
Yes. That's what I was coming to. You can ask his experience at NASA also. You can ask what happens when you're on moon, or for that also, you're most welcome to ask any question. Yeah, Dheeraj Dubal, our PGT Physics has a question. Dheeraj, kindly.
Good morning,
Dheeraj?
sir.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Morning, sir.
Good evening. I should say good evening. Go ahead, please.
Uddameni hi siddhyanti karyani na manorathe. Na hi suptasya singasya pravishyati mukhamika. Sir, the meaning of this thought is the hard work and the perspiration you have taught us today. It's a very, very inspiring lecture today. I have, got it. Sir, there's a question of mine, small question.
I can't hear you.
So if you go through the devastation which was done in the past 50 years, like coral bleaching, the air quality index of the world has gone down, sir. Sir, what do you think that what will the condition of the future in the next upcoming 40 years? What we are giving to our generations, next upcoming generations?
Well, a part of your question was blank, but I got the essence. You're talking about pollution and you're talking about global warming, somehow related question, right? And your question is, how will it progress? It will keep progressing unless we change something. One of the things that happened in New Delhi, was that because of this coronavirus, the traffic was totally, not there. And therefore people could feel how pollution got reduced.
Yes.
So that's a demonstration. So my thought process is that we will pay a lot more attention in the next years on reducing pollution. Once we reduce the pollution, a lot of global warming will also start to get, how do I say, control. But pollution is a big issue in the world, and it's a bigger issue in India. And we're talking about pollution of air, we're talking about pollution of water, and we're talking about pollution of land, which then comes in our food. So food is getting affected. So naturally, the health is getting depressed. I don't know if I answered. It's an excellent question, but my thought process is the things are not going to get better unless and until we dedicate ourselves. That was the bottom line of my talk. That you made a very good point with your question. This whole phenomena, chakkar mein hum phas gaye hain. And to get out of that chakkar is where we need innovation, where we need tough students to come up and say, I can solve this problem. Jo hua to wo hua. If we have polluted the land, now we have to take an effort to see how we can take pollution out of the land. That is the effort. Not worry how it happened. It happened. I hope I answered your question. But
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else, any child or any other teacher? Yeah, this Harsh Sharma, sir.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. I'm ready for your question.
Sir, why does innovation matter, and do we approach innovation, and how do we approach innovation?
Okay, excellent question. Why does it matter? It matters because otherwise we will die like we are dying right now with coronavirus. We will have lakhs and lakhs of people dying. Innovation means now people in USA, and there are a lot of Indians working in these companies like Pfizer and this and that, develop this vaccine. So this should be clear to you कि अगर हम अपने हाइंड पार्ट पर कुर्सी पर बैठेंगे, कुछ नहीं करेंगे, तो ये वायरस हमें खा जाता, पूरा दुनिया को billions of people would die. So we started this brain of innovation and we felt that we could do something, and we have these vaccines. Those are not necessarily the best, but the best is yet to come. People are working on it. That's step one. They are going to make better and better vaccines. And एक दिन कोई भी virus हमें नहीं आएगा. That is the power of innovation, beta. That is Harsh, the power of innovation. Now, how do we become innovative? Like I was saying, we have a need. We had a need. Otherwise, the humanity, क्या करोगे? कितनी देर आप shut down करते जाओगे? Not possible. You got to wake up. You got to do something. We did something. Now, so we had a need. We had a need. We focused our efforts on that need. Harsh. Now, how do we innovate? We innovate when we have knowledge. See, this, I'm giving an example of the vaccine. This vaccine didn't come from skies. Asman se niche nahi gira. This used all our expertise for the last 100 years. Logon ne kya kiya about the cell, about the chromosome, about DNA, RNA, all these research got focused, jammed together. All the other vaccines that we had developed for many other things, we learned from all that experience. We could map this particular germ and its travel into the human body through breath, through touch, through this, through that. Harsh, the bottom line is we have to wake up and we have to have a desire to do something. That's the critical thing for innovation. We have to know that what we have now is not adequate. Abhi dekho aapke rivers. One time I went to see Ganga and I could smell at least a kilometer away. Itni gandi boo aa rahi thi. We have, what do? Harsh, you have to become innovative. You have to find out what is the method of now cleaning the water, not polluting it. I don't know if I answered you, but the question is great, and you will become innovative once you determine that you want to be innovative. You want to do something. Dr. Sharma, can I give them one example?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Why not?
Do we have time?
So we are there to listen to you. I think it would be gripping only.
So my
Yes,
point
sir,
is,
please.
I reached Kansas State University. ठीक है भैया? And the first thing my major advisor, head of the department, Dr. W. Capsule, tells me, Kumar, and they have given me a research, fellowship and all that. We want to know what's on the moon. And the reason we want to know is when these astronauts will land, like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, they may go in quicksand. Quicksand means if you jump in this desert in Rajasthan, there are places where suddenly the sand will drag you down. So he said, from here, could we find out what are the properties of the material that's on the moon? This is 1965 January. So there is a critical need to find out कि कैसे होगा. The rest of the story I will send to Professor Sharma, but the gist is, I kept thinking कि कैसे होगा, क्या होगा. So I developed a lab. The only way we could find out something from the moon, in my way of thinking, was either photography of the moon, the reflection of sun's light from the moon, which is, telescopes and all that, उसे मटेरियल का बताना बहुत मुश्किल है. But I had learned at Calcutta University the power of electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves जो है, radio waves, radar waves, microwaves, higher waves, when they get reflected from a surface, they get reflected with the due to the properties of the surface material. Now, I came out with one idea that when you bounce off, I know I'm taking time, but there is a electromagnetic waves of polarization. Electric vector जिस plane में रहेगा ना, उसको बोलते हैं polarization plane. तो ये vertical, मेरा हाथ जो है अभी vertically polarized. Electric vector will be like this, going back and forth. So I found out that when we throw an electric this vector in the vertical plane, some of it will come back in the horizontal plane. ये कैसे हुआ? ये चमत्कार कैसे हुआ? How did this wave get depolarized? A portion of it came back in the same polarization, but a portion came back in a different polarization. ये कैसे हुआ? इस पर मैंने research किया. And then I found out some people were bouncing the signals off from what's it called, from California, Goldstone facility. एक वहां पर 75 meter dish है, वहां से X band वो reflect करते. I compared the results I got for different materials with the results they were getting from the moon. I could predict exactly the properties of the material. Example of innovation, need, desire. This was my master's thesis. मेरे को करना था. मैं यहाँ घर बार छोड़ के आया था, देश छोड़ के आया था. मैं हार नहीं मानने वाला था. I rest my case.
I think it has been very beautifully answered, and I think Harsh must have got the answer to all his questions. You know, what is the need and why innovation? I think Harsh, you are clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Harsh,
I'm totally clear.
Harsh,
Thank
I
you,
will
sir.
say,
a
I'll say
live
one
example
more thing.
of his research.
When I told this in the group, they were doing acoustical waves. से वो कर रहे थे. Let me now go there. When I said that I want to measure this depolarized return, then I want to relate the depolarized return to the properties of the moon. Believe me, all the students, even some faculty members said, not possible. My major advisor, Dr. W.W. Capsule said, Beta, tu ye karega. I will give you, he gave me all the support. You know, $1 million or so were spent on different things, but we got it done. He had the faith. So you need to give that confidence in people that then they can support you. I gave him the confidence that ye ho sakta hai, it can be done, it, etc. I think I have taken your precious time, huh? All the faculty's precious time मैंने लिया आज. How
Yes,
lucky
sir.
I am
Thank you,
to
sir.
get this much time, huh? All of you.
So we have
We are
become
lucky, sir.
enriched. Actually,
Sure.
we are lucky to have heard you so well, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
We can ask
Archana
for
ma'am?
any other question, otherwise we'll wind up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Archana ma'am, over to you.
Okay, ma'am. At the very outset, am I audible, ma'am?
You are audible,
Yes,
but you are
ma'am.
not visible.
Audible.
You're not visible, sort of thing.
I have switched on the camera. I don't know. There may be some technical glitch, but if I'm
No,
audible,
that's all right. You keep going.
okay. Thank you, sir. At the very outset, I have loads and loads of gratitude to you, Dr. Kumar, for sharing your straight from the heart pearls of wisdom. You, like a meteor, have consumed so much time right in the morning there straight from US and have enlightened all of us. We are feeling enriched. We are feeling enlightened. We are feeling blessed to be sharing this platform virtually in your company, sir. We have become far better. We are much better than what we were at 5:30 p.m. in the evening when we joined you. Starting from how you told that once a student is always a student, change is the only constant. Then you took us to innovation is the need of the hour, for that holds the key to success. And how hard work has no substitute. Hard work can never be substituted. It's only the hard work that is, as you said, 50% inspiration and 50% perspiration is what will, will get the innovation done. And there is no easy joy. There is no toy like an easy joy. Every word that you spoke, sir, giving examples of Fauja Singh, the marathon runner, to your company with Sunita Williams, to your own achievements, sir. We have learned so much. You are an inspiration. That is the least to say. And we couldn't have thanked enough Bindu ma'am. We can't thank Bindu ma'am for organizing, for getting you on this platform and enriching our faculty members, that is ourselves, and our students who have learned so much from you. That one should never be, taking anger, becoming greedy, or having bad company. Rather should use knowledge, wisdom, love, and truthfulness to inspire and innovate. Thank you for each word that you spoke, sir. We are very honored and privileged to have listened to you. Thank you, sir.
I have 3 comments. Can I say them, Dr. Sharma?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Go ahead.
I have 3 comments. One comment is that I am so grateful to all of you, honestly. Is age mein, at this age, if somebody listens to you, it's a joy. Second, students, there was one person in India who understood the magnificence of India. His name was Sir Iqbal. He was a poet. When I was in the elementary school in Kashmir, we used to listen. Sare jahan se acha, Hindustan hamara. So keep that in mind. You need not think of anything else. India has the resource, it's innovative, do it. The last thing I got to tell you, students, I am dreaming that I will be with you physically in a few weeks. I'm dreaming, I'm hoping that in August, September time period, I'll be there. I've been waiting from what? The last time I was in India was September 2019. 2 years have gone, but 2022. Yeah, 2 years have gone by. I used to visit at least twice a year. My 4 trips canceled. Now I'm trying, and hopefully that's all I can tell you. I look forward to seeing you, and I pray to God that to give that opportunity for me to be with you. Thank you very much.
So we look forward to your visit to APS Clementown.
Wonderful, thank you, and I'm going to leave you all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, all the students and all those who are still. Okay, thank you. Nitya Kumari has a question, but now it's already done. I think sir is there. Nitya, you can have the question.
No, ma'am. By mistake, my hand was raised.
It's perfectly fine.
Okay.
I students enjoyed the session.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
good. And
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you are, it shows that you are going to be the innovators of tomorrow. So we'll look forward that you are going to give a bright future to the country. Thank you. God bless you, better. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you much, ma'am.
Bindu
Thank you,
ma'am,
ma'am.
Archana ma'am,
Thank you.
and all the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavna ma'am. Thank you, sir.